Hi, this is Sheldon with Eval Academy, and welcome to our first data visualization tutorial. Today, I'm going to teach you how to create a column chart using Microsoft Excel. To start, column charts are used when we want to compare data either among categories or to compare data over time, with the key being that we want to draw comparisons between our data. In this video, I will walk you through the basics of creating your first column chart, and I will teach you how to format your column chart to create a visual that is clean, informative, and impactful in telling your data story. Alright, in this tutorial, we'll be looking at positive COVID-19 cases in Alberta, Canada. Before inserting the chart, we need to select our data. Typically, you can just click and drag to highlight your values. However, sometimes your data are in non-adjacent columns. In this case, we'll be looking at month and Alberta cases. In order to highlight these two columns, we can start off by clicking in cell A2 and dragging to highlight our months. And moving over to our Alberta cases, hold down the Control key, click in cell C2, and drag to highlight our values. Now that the data are selected, we can insert the column chart. To do so, navigate up to the Insert tab and over to our different chart types. In this case, we'll want to insert a column or bar chart and select the clustered column chart. Now I'll just move this over here and increase the size to make it easier to read. And this is the basic cell chart. However, it's looking a bit cluttered, so I want to teach you how to edit this and create something that is much more engaging. As a comparison, this is the base chart here. I'm going to take you through the steps necessary to transform this chart into something that is much more impactful, like the chart on the right. So let's get to it. Let's jump back to the Reporting tab and begin editing our graph. First off, I want to remove these grid lines. To do so, you can click on any grid line and simply hit the delete key, or alternatively, we can navigate over to the chart elements, click on this plus icon, and toggle off our grid lines here. Next, I don't necessarily want this vertical axis here. In order to delete that, we can follow the same steps, click on it and press delete, or again, through the chart elements, enter our axes and remove the primary vertical axis. Now that our axis is deleted, we want to label each of these bars. In order to do so, click on any bar and it will highlight the set. To add data labels, we can toggle them on here, or you can simply right click in any of the bars and add data labels. Next, I want to increase the width of these bars. In order to do so, we have to enter the data series formatting. In order to do so, you can simply right click on any of the bars and format our data series here, or we can use the keyboard shortcut Control and 1 to open up our Format Data Series options. In this case, we want to increase the gap width to increase the bar size. So the smaller the percentage, the wider the bar. So in this case, let's go with 65 and see how that looks. All right, the bars are looking much better. Now, when I'm looking at this chart, I noticed that there's a spike initially in April, and again, the numbers have increased into October. And I want to highlight these values in the chart. To do so, we can mute some of the colors of the other months simply by changing their color, by changing their fill color. In this case, I'll select a light gray. However, that fills in all the bars separately. Now I want to highlight October and April. To change these colors individually, click on the bars again, and now October is highlighted. We can right click and change the fill color here. And for April, we can do the same, or we can navigate up to the Format tab and change the fill color here. Now that our data are highlighted, let's change the title to create something that is much more informative. In this case, we have our COVID-19 cases increased significantly. October 2020 in Alberta, Canada, following an initial spike in April of 2020. Now we can change the formatting on this. For me, I prefer to left justify, and we can move the tail up here. And the initial spike in April is more of a subthought. I want to focus more on the October itself. So we'll move this line to the bottom and change the font color to black. And I want to highlight the October information. So we can bold this by pressing Control B, or simply by clicking the bold icon here. And I will change that to match the color of our bars. And now this is our final Excel chart, edited in a few simple steps into something that is much more engaging and impactful.